things time without number. I know the city guard that was stabbed, in KJT last year. We know of the Konongo Dumasi Senior High School stabbings where a fellow student used scissors to stab, a fellow student. And I can go on and on and on aside from the ones that I have enumerated this morning. Question is, as a nation, have we taken this whole thing serious enough to say, listen, it's a ticking time bomb, let's do something about it? Have we given it the needed attention?
Obviously, I mean, if you look at the fact that the patterns is increasing day in, day out, it suggests to me that the country hasn't really looked at it. Because you see, what we have done is to react to murders and to react to certain kind of violent behaviors. We only react to them. But we don't really go into studying what are the triggers. Because you see, if you want to be able to control behavior, you must understand the triggers. What is causing people to behave in a particular way? And it is only when you are able to tame the triggers, that is where you can actually have a hold or control of whatever is happening. We as a country don't look at that. So as my colleague was saying, we don't even look at psychological issues as a country. So sometimes what we do is to frame certain behaviors, in certain way as to make it look good, even though in actual fact, those behaviors are taking time bombs and they are violent acts. So somebody will show a lot of masochism and we think that the person is brave and that the person is supposed to stand up for themselves. But these are actually, that are precursors to certain violent acts in the near future. So if you look at what is happening, it only tells me that as a country, we are not really going down to understand what is happening as a country, what is happening to us in terms of these kind of violent behaviors and trying to, address the underlying causes or triggers of these behaviors. We are not looking at that. And that is very worrying because I'm beginning to see that, look, if we don't take care in the next few years, we may have acts that are even worse than we are seeing. Because as the society continues to change, as things continue to unfold, there will be more strains and stresses within the society or within the environment. And as more strains and stresses are pumped into the society, you need to have people with certain capacity to handle those kind of strains and stresses.
What in all this, Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware, in all this, what is your greatest fear?
My greatest fear is that all of us are not safe. All of us are not safe in the sense that the behaviors that people are exhibiting, these kind of violent tendencies, can happen to any of us. We can become victims so far as we live in a society and we continually interact with people. So for instance, if it's in secondary school, if it is in the university, if it is even on the streets, because look, all of us sometimes take trotro, we take taxis, even sometimes bargaining for fares, becomes an issue. So we are all likely potential victims of this kind of violent acts. And that is what scares me the most. And that is why I think that as a country, we must begin looking at these violent acts, understand the patterns as we are seeing them, and look at the triggers and address them. If they are psychological issues, if they are parenting issues, if they are even, environmental issues, we must be able to understand these strains and stresses and the triggers and begin to take hold of them. Not that, look, I'm telling you, I'm beginning to see a much worse scenario happening in the near future.
Another thing that popped to mind is the fact that oftentimes when we hear of these stabbings,